Anybody you can talk about in history that had to do with the Northwest, they were here. Whether it was Native Americans, Lewis and Clark, Hudson Bay, Oregon pioneers, everybody going east, they all came through here and they all had some story.
What's it feel like to keep that legacy alive?
Oh, yeah, it is cool.
Can you tell me about some of the jobs you've had in town?
Well, I grew up here, so I've done a number of things. What did my first paying job was at the bridge side, which is now the Charburger. I was the busser, the dishwasher, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I was one of their best ones.
Yeah, I believe it.
In fact, in high school, we played 8-man. I was K through 12 here in the school. It's not anymore now. It's just a grade school, but it was K through 12 when I was growing up. We played 8-man football. So I had a coach finally one year because I was lineman size, but he let me be a back. And the first time I got he made this special play for me. The first time I got it, I went for a touchdown. And the owner of the was the Charburger then. Yeah, he said, yeah, you learned that. You learned that speed and those moves from working up.
That's it.
Working up here at the restaurant. So I worked there. I tried college for a year, played some football at Eastern Oregon, and had some fun. Had fun with that, but I didn't learn a whole lot. And finally came back, and I had bills to pay because I got a guaranteed student loan. So I got on at a lumber mill. They had a big dimension lumber mill here, so I got on the lumber mill. And while I was at the mill, I learned what they did back then when I first got on the mill is they would take every couple hours they'd take a 10-15 minute break. And it always took a 15-minute break always cost them a half hour or 45 minutes to get guys out of there, get them. So I went around on my own and I started learning all the equipment. And so then the foreman came and said, hey, I'm going to make you the brake man. So now the mill just kept running, and I'd go around and give everybody their brake because I knew how to run all the equipment. So I'd go down. And so now there wasn't just one time of braking. You had sometimes you got an early break, sometimes you got a late break, but everybody got their break, and the mill never shut down. But finally, a buddy of mine had a gas station down here in town, and I was just sitting there with him. He says, "Hey, why don't you take this other gas? I got another gas station up there. Why don't you take it?" And I went, "Okay." So I borrowed $900 from my folks to buy the gas that was in the ground at that time. I gave 2 weeks at the mill. And I was running a gas station. It was Arco back then, a little Arco station. So I ran that for quite a while, and finally it was. Well, I grew up here, so I knew everybody. So when I first did, I was really making bank, and I was working. I was the only one working them, 15, 16 hours a day. I'd run from open and close, and finally I decided to start hiring people. But then I also, because everybody knew me, started getting people to charge. And after a while, and a lot of people couldn't, I let them go to the limit. I let them go too far to where they couldn't even afford to pay me back. So yeah, I was losing a ton of money there, and I finally going, you know what? I'm not a businessman. I'm heading out of here. So I looked into getting at Yellowstone or Yosemite, and they wanted college people. But I had a kid showed up there, and he was from Lake Tahoe. He said, I can get you on as security guard at Harvey's Resort Hotel Casino in Lake Tahoe. And sure, he called down there and they said, send him down. So I sold the station to my dad, jumped in the truck and headed to Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
So I worked a couple of seasons there, but same thing, in a small town you do a lot. I was a Boy Scout master, I was the Lions Club president for a while, I coached all kinds of things. I was assistant coach over at the high school in football and basketball. I got doing so many things that's so with the station I'm going, I don't have a life. So I said, and I can't say no. So I'm just bailing. Sold that to Dad, went to Tahoe and met my wife at Tahoe. She moved up here with me, and she's been here 40-some years. She's in Napa, California. Yeah. And actually before I got on the boat, though, so when I came back from Tahoe, there was a steel mill here in town, and I was working at it was a small one. They made parts for drilling rigs, and so we were knocking that out. That was a nasty. Come home, just nostrils just black. Even no matter what you did, it was a hard, hot, heavy duty job. And they were training me to be the furnace man, so that was to be one of the main guys in it. But then one of the guys, our heat treat guy, didn't do a good job treating them. They went in the field, they failed, so the companies stopped buying from them. And they only had one product they were making, so they went bankrupt. And as soon as they went bankrupt, the boat started. So then I got on the boat as a deckhand and been here ever since. Other than the port ran it for 23 years, and then once they got rid of it, I went to work for the Port and Spirit. Well, they only wanted me part-time. So fortunately, but not long after that, the port said, hey, we'll need somebody here in the park. So I got on park maintenance, mowing and watering the park here. So nowadays, I do park maintenance and the boat to supplement my income to be able to stay in a nice small town.
And you were mayor here, weren't you?
Yep. Yeah. I was mayor. I don't know what years I was mayor, but I think I was mayor for 10, 11 years.
Oh, wow.
One of the longer running mayors. They were in here. So I was mayor during the 50,000 acre Eagle Creek Forest fire that went through. So we had to declare emergency for that one. So that was a tricky time. And I was here for the pandemic. I was mayor then, so I had to declare emergency there and deal with that. So yeah, but I'm done. Yeah, I'm done with all that stuff. When you are a public servant, the public can be sometimes pretty tough on you because you can't make everybody happy no matter what. So yeah.
But you can as a captain.
Yeah, but you can as a captain. You are right there.
Make it back to the dock. That's all you got to do.
All you got to do is get back to the dock. Yeah, and give them out and give them a show out there. Yeah. And we also do, we do the excursions, but we also do meal cruises. So the boat can be chartered. So we can do weddings on here. There's anything you can imagine doing somewhere. We can do that on here. So our bread and butter is going doing the excursions during the day, but So what helps keep us moving is the meal cruises. And the new company, Jetty Light, the Port of Cascade Locks ran this for 23 years. The Port and Spirit ran it for 16, 17 years. And now Jetty Light has it. And so one of the new things they've added to it, they call it the Whiskey Wheeler, which is why have the boat just sitting here on beautiful evenings, beautiful sunsets. Mm-hmm. So when we get back from a dinner cruise, they just do a dockside thing here where you can watch the sunset. You can, and usually in the evening the winds are dying down, so it's just when you're looking at location, everybody's looking at property and things. It's location. We have got the location.
You definitely do.
And Jetty Light gets that, and they're going to take advantage of that any way they can. Mm-hmm. They wanted to do some stuff here, and where they could do some social media out there. So what I came up with is to do Captain Tom on the Go. So what I'll do is I'll go somewhere in the morning before I have a cruise, and I'll do a little show and we stay within a minute. It's got to all stay within a minute, and I'll do it somewhere, and then when it ends, we'll always say, got to go, can't miss the boat. So the name of the game is to keep getting myself further and further away to where it's harder and harder to get to wherever I'm at. It's harder and harder to get there. So I try to go to interesting places. I'll go to so stay tuned this year. I don't know where I'll go to. I'll go to a lot of the places I went last year because they were cool places. And I'll do a lot of things I did last year. But but I'm going to go. I'll figure out more places to go to, and I'm going to try to get it stretched out there where it gets harder for me to make it here on time for my for my cruise. So that's the name of the game. Go somewhere and then let them know that wherever I'm at, if you're there, if I get to the boat, you can get to the boat.
No excuses. Right?
That's right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Captain Tom, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
One more time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks,
One more
I appreciate
time.
it. I've only got 11 minutes left on this one.
Well,
This one eats
I'll
up.
eat that.
This
I'll
one-
eat that up. I'll eat that up in the introduction.